You won't believe what states are doing with inflation that is going to exacerbate it even more. Also, some big news from Social Security that is coming out here that I'll give you the details on here in this video. Let's jump right in here. Thank you so much for liking these videos. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Here we go. Okay, we're seeing more and more states and even counties do this. King County from Washington becomes the latest county to do this. And remember, we're seeing entire states do this here as well. I'll show you more of this here. King County, Washington raises their minimum wage for the entire county to $20.29, forcing everybody in the entire county to make a minimum of $20.29. And we're seeing business owners saying they're going to have to raise prices for everything that's sold, for everything, whether it's groceries, whether it's fast food, whether it's gas, anything, because they have to pay their employees more. Yeah. And remember that California recently raised their minimum wage just for fast food workers and some other workers to $20 an hour. But now we're seeing other states and other counties raise their minimum wage here. Remember that in other entire states have been raising their minimum wages for years. Take a look here. Florida actually voted here in 2020 to raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour, which goes up in steps. By 2026, it will reach $15 an hour. Okay, so it's been going up there in steps. Right now, it's at $12 an hour. New York, the minimum wage is $16 an hour for New York City and some of its suburbs, up from $15 an hour. The rest of the state, the new minimum wage is $15 an hour. And we're seeing a lot of other states pay very high minimum wages. Remember here that I'm going to see in the comment section, a lot of people say, well, our state, the minimum wage is still the minimum of what the federal minimum wage is, $7.25. But nobody's paying that. Nobody's paying that here because remember, nobody's going to go and actually work for that here. In Ohio, the minimum wage is $10.45. So think $10 an hour, right? But McDonald's, remember McDonald's, one of the largest employers in the United States, is actually hiring for $16 an hour. Here's an image from my local McDonald's. I actually seen it and snapped a picture. Open availability crew starting at $16 an hour. Limited availability crew starting at $15 an hour. I think that's for part-timers. So literally they're starting people at $15 to $16 an hour, even though minimum wage is $10 an hour. So nobody is actually being hired for $10 an hour. So even if your minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, nobody's actually getting hired for that because nobody will work for that. It's just more competitive than that. And this is a big reason on why prices are going up everywhere, whether it's the gas station, the grocery stores. Remember that places like UPS are now paying $100,000 a year, including bonuses and all the different things that they get included in their compensation. And just, I mean, if your minimum wage people are making $16 an hour minimum, just a starting pay at McDonald's, everybody else with any other type of any qualifications has got to be making more than that, or else they would just go work at McDonald's. And this is raising the cost of everything. These owners, these businesses are having to raise the price of everything. And then you're seeing things like this creep up. California's secret 50-cent gas tax hike coming in the next 2 years. A tax increase, or this new upcoming tax increase, is, quote, a tax on the tax. Republican tax hawk is saying. This will be a new tax. Remember, California already has the highest taxes or highest gas in the nation. A long-standing emission reduction program may lead to a 50-cent increase in gasoline prices within 2 years in California, according to a little-known state air quality regulator report. In September, the California Air Resources Board, CARB, the state's primary environmental regulator, reported gas prices will rise next year by about 50 cents a gallon and every year thereafter to aid in clean air efforts. The price increase does not include existing gas tax in the state. Remember, California, the largest population state in the nation. Imagine their gas being upped by 50 cents more. Republican State Senator Janet Nguyen, one of the legislature's most critical tax hawks, told Fox News Digital that the secret tax increase would penalize the majority of Californians. Quote, the middle class, low income, they can't afford gas to go to school, work, or groceries, or the doctor's office. No one knows about this. I think people just think it's a tax, so they don't know the difference between the carbon tax versus the state tax. It's almost like a tax on a tax. This comes as Social Security's new announcement comes out. 2025 COLA estimate inches up, but Medicare Part B premium may wipe it out. Here's the details. The latest estimate of Social Security's cost of living adjustment for 2025 rose to 3.2%. After the government reported that April's inflation was in line with economists' forecasts, new calculations show. The 2025 COLA estimate has risen all year as inflation remains elevated above Federal Reserve's 2% target. It stood at 1.75% in January, 2.4% in February, and 3% in March. Overall prices increased 3.4% from a year earlier, down from 3.5% in March. According to the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index, a gauge of goods and services costs throughout the economy on a monthly basis rose 0.3%, down from 0.4% the previous month. COLA is based on the Consumer Price Index for wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW. That figure dipped to 3.4% from March's 3.5%, but still outpaced the 3.2% COLA Social Security recipients began receiving in July from the previous year. However, items on which seniors spend the most money increased significantly over the past year. Hospital services rose 7.7%. Transportation services rose 11.2%. Shelter jumped 5.5%. Electricity jumped 5.1%, the government said. And yet, Social Security wants to give you a, 3.2% raise? Imagine that, lower than all those numbers. Also, in addition to this, expected Medicare Part B premiums for 2024 are likely to eat up most, if not all, of the COLA raise, Johnson said. Medicare's trustee estimate that the standard Part B premium for 2025 will increase at nearly double the rate of the COLA, which makes me think that something is dramatically wrong with the government. If the Medicare trustee report released last week, the trustee's estimated Part B premiums would climb by $10.30 a month in 2025 to $185. That's an increase of 5.9% from $174 in 2024. COLA doesn't factor into Medicare Part B premium increase. Nevertheless, Part B premiums are one of the fastest growing costs in retirement, and those premiums are deducted directly from Social Security benefits, which makes me think that something is dramatically wrong with everything. And don't forget, the Social Security is running out of money. They just released a report that Social Security is going to run out of money in a little bit over 10 years if they don't dramatically change Social Security anyways. So if you're still contributing, if you're still working, The lesson here is make sure you're contributing to your 401k, your IRA, and things like that, because the government does not know what they're doing. So make sure you're contributing to your own retirement, because Social Security is just a small supplement, and yeah, they're not doing very well with Social Security. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here with everything. Make sure to like, share this video with anybody that needs to hear this information, which is probably everybody. Subscribe down below, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. I will keep you updated. New videos come out here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click here to see these massive new changes just announced that will affect millions of Americans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.